Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today for Grace with Paul Gray. I'd like to ask you today, do you imagine? Little kids have great imaginations. They have make-believe friends and they can come up with all sorts of grandiose ideas and things. But adults who imagine get shot down a lot. Everybody who's dreamed big things, things that seem impossible to others, gets ridiculed, put down, and laughed at. Happened to me when I dreamed of making a living with the Dixieland Jazz Band in Kansas, of all places. Happened to us when we started our church, then when we started a medical clinic. Well, Mercy Me has this great song out I've talked about with you before called I Can Only Imagine. I hope you've seen that movie. If you haven't yet, please do. Reminds me of another old song called Imagination. Frank Sinatra sang this, and other people too. Here are the words to it. Imagination is funny. It makes a cloudy day sunny. Makes a bee think of honey, just as I think of you. Imagination is crazy. Your whole perspective gets hazy. Start you asking a daisy, what to do, what to do. Have you ever felt a gentle touch and then a kiss? And then find it's only your imagination again? Oh well. Imagination is silly. You go around willy-nilly. For example, I go around wanting you, and yet I can't imagine that you want me too. Nice old love song, an old standard from the 40s, really. You know, there are a lot of love songs, and I've come to understand that anything we write or sing or say or do that's loving, anything that's about love, comes from God. It's inspired by God. God is love, and really it should be obvious to us that anything that has to do with us loving comes from God. We're created in His image. He is love. He loves us. He's in us. Anytime we comprehend or think or write or sing or play or do whatever, something about love, I believe that's inspired by God. Now, we may take it and mutilate it a little bit or a lot or whatever, but the original inspiration, I believe, comes from God. So let's talk just for a minute about Holy Spirit imagination in regard to love. What can you imagine about God? Do you imagine like the end of that song, Imagination, which says, for example, I go around wanting you, and yet I can't imagine that you want me too? Is that what you imagine about God? I want to encourage you, and myself too, to take some time, get in a quiet place, still your mind, and imagine what your Papa is really like. And imagine how He feels about you personally. Listen to Him as He tells you how He's all around you and in you and for you and delights in you and likes you and loves being with you. Listen to Him as He tells you how He sings over you and dances over you and thinks about you all the time. This is not a one-time deal. I encourage you to do it often. Do it every day. And then carry that experience of what you hear from Him, what you imagine, with you all day. And you'll find that you have a spring in your step and a smile on your face and joy in your heart. Can you imagine? Hope so. See you next time.